fires are raging across California. The most recent and largest is the Kincaid Fire, which destroyed many communities across NorCal. We are at risk of losing our communities and precious national monuments. The Easy Fire in Los Angeles nearly destroyed Reagan's presidential library. This is clearly a major problem we're dealing with. Hello, judges. For this year's FLL City Shaper project, we are protecting our communities from wildfires using ancient wisdom and modern technology. We are the Lightning Bots, and welcome to our project.
According to Verisk, which is a company that provides data for natural disasters, 4.5 million US homes are prone to being destroyed by wildfires. Unfortunately, 2 million out of the 4.5 are in California. A recent wildfire in Paradise nearly wiped the city out of the map. This is very unfortunate. At a high level, this is how our solution works. To detect the fire, we will be using a satellite-based method. For our first line of defense, we will be using an ancient method to trigger mud aqueducts when a fire is detected. Then we will use graphene sheets to stop the fire, and finally we will use fire extinguishing balls to put out small fires. Now we will explain our solution.
Detection.
Let's say there's a forest fire rapidly spreading toward our city. Our solution has fire sensors in the forest to detect a fire. Then we will use NOAA's GOES satellite to gather data on the fires and their trajectories. We contacted Alexander Kotanov, a UC Davis professor and scientist. He's working with NOAA GOES satellite team to detect wildfires and the direction of the fire. The fire stations can use this. We'll get this information, and then they will use it to find the precise and exact location of the fire. Then they can use our solution to decimate the fire.
For our first line of defense, we will be using pre-built mud aqueducts. We got our inspiration for this from our history lesson. The lesson was on the Byzantine Empire and how it lasted for 20 centuries. The empire used a moat that would go around their city, and it was filled with water and crocodiles. This would protect the city from its enemies. For our solution, we plan to use a pre-built mud aqueduct, and it would be 6 feet wide. It's 6 feet wide because according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, fires cannot progress without fuel for 6 feet wide. We will fill these aqueducts with the push of a button from the local fire station based on the early detection information from the NOAA GOES satellite. We will get our water from the nearest fire hydrant, and it'll pump water into the aqueduct in 90 seconds. This should stop the progression of the fire by at least 50%. And now let's look at more advanced technology.
We will be using graphene, which is one of the greatest finds of the century, to prevent the fires from raging any further. 2 professors from the University of Manchester won a Nobel Prize in 2010 for making graphene happen. Graphene is a single atom layer of graphite, which is the lead in your pencil. It has high chemical stability and a fire-destroying property. We will be using this fire-destroying property to take the oxygen out of the fire on contact. A company named Volbach is weaving graphene into sheets, so we'll be using these graphene sheets in this part of our solution. A few drones will be carrying a rolled-up graphene sheet, and they will roll it down to the ground like a screen. This will act as a barrier against the fire. We think that an additional 40% will come for protecting the city against the fire. Let's move on to our last step.
In this stage, we will be using fire extinguishing balls. These fire extinguishing balls have about 94% MAP, unlike normal fire extinguishers that have about 11 to 40% MAP. So now we're sure that these fire extinguishing balls will put out the rest of the fire. So we will have drones that will drop these fire extinguishing balls to put out other fires that have been caused by the embers. This process will help us stop the fire from progressing further than the graphene sheet. Now let's look at the cost.
Average city block length is around 100 yards. To shield one city block is going to cost $621,000. This includes the mud aqueducts, the graphene sheets, the drones, and the fire extinguishing balls. Much of the cost is from the graphene sheets. However, the graphene sheets are reusable and they're resistant to all natural elements. In California, fires cause $9 billion in property damage. Our solution is worth it because of its early detection and its reusability.
As you can see, ancient wisdom meets modern technology in our solution. Our satellite-based mechanism prepares us to deal with wildfires. Our solution using aqueducts prevents up to 50% of a wildfire. And then the graphene sheets further block the fire by an additional 40%. Finally, the fire extinguishing balls will completely put out the fire. We think that our communities will be kept safe and well protected using our solution, Zero Agni.
We are the lightning bots and this is our innovative solution.
Zero Agni!